More and more MAGA fans are now turning on Donald Trump over what he's doing in the Middle East with possibly going to war with Iran.
The people who regret the vote and people saying that we should welcome them, I'm going to put my last word on it. If watching people get torn apart from their families.
Sorry, America! Sorry, America! We were wrong! We believed the lies! We paid the price! We paid the price! We are sorry!
If losing their loved ones, if not seeing their communities in pain and distress and struggle, both financially, spiritually, mentally, physically, watching the cost come to our veterans yet again, those who have served this country, is not enough for them to not do this again.
Donald Trump won, and this is what America wanted. They wanted someone they believed to be a strong man. They wanted someone they believed was better on the economy. Whether any of those things are true or not, and much of it's not, this is what America wanted. This is what people voted for. Most of America voted for MAGAism. They voted for the sexism, they voted for the racism, they voted for the convicted criminal, they voted for someone who wants to get rid of healthcare, they voted for someone who wants to get rid of the Department of Education. But those are all true, but that's what he wanted, and that's what they wanted. So look, this is where we are. America is honestly MAGA country now.
A lot of people seem to think that we voted for Trump for the most evil, nefarious reasons. And I just want to take a minute to prove to you that that is really not the case. And in fact, our opinions are really not that far off. Let's start with one of the big ones, which is immigration. If you look at Republicans, a lot of Republicans are in the blue-collar worker demographic. And I guarantee you that a lot of Republicans have worked side by side with illegal immigrants and have zero issue with that.
If you voted for that orange man and you are now saying, this is not what I voted for, this is not what I voted for, this is quite literally exactly what you voted for. And if you truly did not think that this was going to happen by electing that man into office, then you are willingly uneducated and ignorant. And I suggest next time you think about voting in an election, you educate yourself other than watching Fox News.
What does he think? We're stupid? And the people online, they're trying to pretend that we are the ones betraying Trump for holding him accountable to his promises that he made to us when we voted for him, when we encouraged other people to vote for him.
See, we told you how it was going to begin, and then we told you how it was going to end. Look at this shit.
Very happy and excited that Trump won. As far as financially, obviously nothing's really changed. We're still under the Biden administration, but I know that it is coming, and so I admit I regret my vote for Donald Trump. I regret it because I needed these changes sooner. I needed the prices to go down sooner so that I didn't drain out my big...
See, some of y'all are still in the fuck around and find out stage. See, most of y'all thought that when he was elected, he was going to change everything for you. Didn't realize that his first 100 days, he didn't give two shits about you. Every executive order was for something else besides what you thought it was going to be for. He's a businessman, so I'm not even sure why you guys are even surprised. These type of people don't go through everyday American shit. You thought he was going to feel your pain or he was going to help you out with what you was going through? Good old Daddy Donnie got your ass again. Hey, as I always say, this is who y'all voted for.
Mamá, por favor. Mamá, no me dejes. Mamá.
Tranquila, ya no llores, ¿sí? Mamá va a regresar. Solo se fue el trabajo.
¿Me lo prometes? ¿Me lo prometes, papá?
Mi amor, no te puedo prometer eso.
Hey y'all, so I've been seeing it float around that there are some MAGAs who actually do regret voting the way that they did.
I'm not sitting next to someone wearing that hat.
What's wrong with my hat?
What's wrong with your hat? It says Make America Great Again. That's what's wrong with your hat.
Were you against making America great?
Yeah, the way that it's been happening, it's not so great. So please take that off, otherwise I'm not sitting down.
It's been pretty great for me, so I don't know what you're talking
Oh,
about.
pretty great for you? What about the rest of the country?
I'm
The
not.
rest of
I'm
the
not
country's been
sitting
great,
next to someone
too.
wearing that hat.
What is your issue? Just sit down.
No,
we're trying to get on the flight. Let's go.
Show me your ticket, please. I don't think someone wearing that hat would be sitting in first class.
Why would I be in this?
I find that very hard to believe. This doesn't involve you, okay? Please stay out of this.
I shouldn't even. This is.
That
See
looks
that?
like a fake ticket.
Look. What is
Fake
this?
ticket.
What is this? 1A?
Yeah.
1A? Oh, and what does that say?
That
1A. Oh.
fake ticket. Fake
Can I see your
fake
ticket?
news. Fake news. You
How
have
do I
fake
know
news
you
on-
even sit here?
I'll show you my ticket. I'm getting the flight attendant because this is ridiculous.
Why do we need the flight attendant?
Because
just sit down in your
something
seat.
needs to happen because I'm not sitting next to someone wearing that hat.
Excuse me, what is going on?
Yeah,
here?
I'm not. Oh my God, are you kidding? You're just
Ma'am,
making it worse.
ma'am, what's wrong? What is
What?
the issue here?
This guy is wearing a MAGA hat and an I Heart Trump shirt. Where did you even? Did you make that?
No, I
yourself?
didn't make it. I bought it off the website.
Oh
Okay?
my God,
What?
I'm not
I don't
sitting
get
next
what her
to. Can
issue
you
is.
take this from him, please? I am not wearing.
Why are you
I'm
taking
not
my
sitting
hat?
next to someone wearing that hat.
Ma'am, we don't
What's wrong with being
touch
a
other
patriot?
people's personal
Look,
belongings.
it's not
here.
an issue. Is it an
Yes,
issue?
it is an issue. I know I'm
Is
not
this-
the only one
If
that
you
is
don't
offended
sit
by
down
that
and
hat.
calm
Is this
down,
breaking
I'm gonna
anything?
have
That
to
guy's
escort you off the
offended.
plane.
No, I escort me off the plane. I haven't done anything wrong. Why don't you escort him off the
Ma'am,
plane?
we're
I
trying
haven't
to
done
take off
anything
and you
wrong.
need to take your seat.
Take my seat.
Why don't you just sit down and we'll get on the
Sit
flight?
down.
No,
This
just
is-
look
this
away.
is
Don't
a-
look at
this
me,
is
and
not
everything is
about me.
fine.
This is
All
about
right.
you.
All right.
This
So,
is
Man,
no.
you're being kind of.
oh, okay. We are getting
Did you
off this plane now.
Get her off.
We gotta go.
Get me off. No.
Another Trump supporter has made the news because they regret their vote. This just goes to show that the abuse has to hit you personally before you have any regrets. Pictured here is Sarah Baruth with her unnamed partner and father of her eldest child, who now faces deportation because she voted for Trump. We can continue to talk about how the Trump administration is going after families of color and mixed families as well, looking to divide them. We can continue to talk about how they continue to violate the constitutional rights of immigrants, both legal and illegal, as they all have a right to due process. But what we're missing here is that the United States is very different from other countries in the past who were faced with the prospect of revolution. Things have to get bad for everybody, bad enough so that they can think about revolting against their government. The issue here is that the majority of the people in this country look like Sarah Baruth and are unaffected by Trump's policies, unless, of course, they are with someone who can be affected by his policies. And in her case, she faces the likelihood of having to raise her child without a father, and this is due to her selfish vote. A lot of Trump supporters do not see the people that they are affecting unless somehow some of these people are close to them. And this is not the kind of country we should want to live in, where an administration is flagrantly violating the constitutional rights of even U.S. citizens now. But this is what you voted for. The time for regret is long gone.
It's really just sad that we can't stay out of the Middle East. That's what's sad. We just can't do it. Does Iran even have the capacity to get a nuke to the United States of America? You don't know that. The answer is probably no. And yet here we are again with the same freaks that were celebrating when we went into Afghanistan, the same freaks that were celebrating when we went into Iraq, and everybody agrees that was a disaster. And it's the same people that pushed that, same people pushing this, same people celebrating. So that's all for tonight. We'll be monitoring this situation closely. But, you know, at the bottom of the day, I think we all just have to pray that this doesn't come back and haunt us. I think we all have to just pray that it doesn't come back and haunt American citizens and that no American dies for this. You know, Iranians are living in fear. Israelis are living in fear. Palestinians are living in fear. And now we're getting involved again. And now we're getting involved again. And the world is watching. The world is watching. And I don't know if the world's response is going to be the same as the first time we got involved in the Middle East, in Iraq and Afghanistan. So things could be different. And they say, oh, well, it's not the same. No, I agree. It's definitely not the same. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's better. Could also mean it's worse. Pray for peace Enjoy your life. Enjoy your life. Enjoy your life while things are still safe in America. Hopefully they'll stay that way. Enjoy your day tomorrow. It's sad. It's sad that all of this happens before we get the Epstein files, before we get the JFK files, before we get tax cuts, before we get mass deportations, before we get the America First agenda, we get Iranian strikes. So it is what it is, folks. It is what it is. Politics as usual, as they say. So no, I'm not happy about the strikes. Am I turning my back on Trump? Am I anti-Trump now? No, I'm doing political coverage and I'm doing geopolitical analysis. That's what we're doing. Okay? So we're not in a cult. And if you think everybody should think the same thing you think and believe the same thing you believe, then you are in a cult. And if you agree with everything the president says or does, you might also be in a cult. I think Trump is still probably the best president for all of this situation. But you know what? He can get bad intel too. He can get deceived as well. Or who knows? Who knows what's really going on that leads to us getting involved in Iran before we get the America First agenda. So I'm going to sign off there. I'll be back on air Monday to address this more. But just pray for peace. Call your friends and family that you care about. Tell them you love them. And just pray this doesn't cost us any more treasure and blood.
How do you MAGA chuds defend this? Because isn't this exactly what you said you didn't want to happen? Donald Trump himself said that we were going to get into a war with Iran if we elected Biden. And then we heard the same thing about Kamala. But here we are on the precipice of World War III, and guess who's in charge? The cheesy poof doof who promised you guys no more war. And don't for a second think that this is just a one and done mission, because before the bombs were even dropped, Iran had already moved all of their uranium. And Trump said the targets had been completely obliterated. But the only thing that's been completely obliterated is your dream of making America great again. Iran has promised retaliation. We have pissed off all of our allies, and we have alienated ourselves from the entire world. You were duped in 2001 by Bush, and now you're being duped again in 2025 by Big Daddy MAGA Chud Jesus. But make America great again, am I right?
Okay, I know I've been on here a lot today, but I'm still processing what happened last night at the rally with Bernie. Talked to my MAGA mom today. She asked how it went. I said, great, right up until we bombed Iran. She said, we didn't bomb Iran. We bombed their nuclear facilities. I said, Mom, they don't have any nuclear facilities. Said, Trump's director of national intelligence said they don't have any. She then told me that that woman, or that man, was a liar. Tulsi Gabbard, that guy was a liar. She said the reason he didn't tell them ahead of time was because there were so many Palestinians in Congress that they would have let Iran know that we were going to bomb them, so he couldn't tell them ahead of time. She also accused AOC of being a Palestinian. She said the people in Gaza deserved what they got because Israel is God's chosen people. This is the fucking bullshit that I have to listen to from my brain-damaged MAGA mom. It's so fucked up. It's so brainwashed. She told me I needed to read my Bible because Israel was God's chosen people. Guys, I can't. I cannot handle this.